Hold on. So, Clef, let me ask you, man, how's that jet lag treating you?
It's not too bad, actually. I mean, I might fall asleep here or there, but I'll try to survive. No, it's been
Nice.
good.
Nice. No, don't worry about it, man. I'll try to keep you up with my bad humor. And probably it depends on who's in the chat today, but I might have some Xbox slander and we'll move on from there, man. That'll wake everybody up, right?
Yeah,
a little
for
Xbox
sure.
slander.
I'm ready for that.
That's awesome, bro. I want to say, first of all, Clef, Happy New Year, man. I know I know that you have been making the rounds. We'll get into that in a little bit. I want to say again, thank you for joining us. Joining me, because as you can see, my better half, my co-host, is not here today. We're going to be Kay Asante less today as he had to travel for work and he couldn't make it. And I know he really wanted to be here and he wanted to have a conversation with you. And but I'll try to hold down the fort. Now, if this thing crashes and burn, hey, I'm new to the PCMR, man. So, okay. So, Kaloy, if you could hear me, if you could hear my voice, I'm trying to hold it down, man. but Clef, man. So, first, let me let everybody know, because I know you've been on our show before, but if they don't know, right, I want you to talk to them about your channel. I know that right now. I've been peeping game. I see where you're at. Okay, you're slowly approaching that 15K mark.
Working on it.
You'll definitely be there by 20K by the end of the 2025, man. How's that goal? Is that one of your goals?
For sure. I will. I have to. It is not even up. Yes. Just yes.
Okay.
I'm on that grind.
Awesome, man. Yeah. Well, if you keep it up, man, because I've seen like your last, I want to say 4 videos. You're on the road, man. You're on the road to 20K. So guys in the chat, hit up Clef, hit up his channel, GameTechTalk. This dude. Okay, there's a good thing and there's a bad thing about subscribing to him. The good thing is you're gonna be well informed. The bad thing is your wallet's gonna be a little lighter by the end of his videos.
Works both ways. That Gaming Circle podcast and Gamers Playground has been drying my wallet, by the way.
Bro, come on, don't tell me that, man. But it looks like we got somebody sub for you there, man, and that's what it's about.
Awesome.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate everybody that's here. And like I said, Happy New Year, man. Let's get into the proper show here, man.
Of course.
I think, any tech heads know that something happened over over this past week, a little show, right? A little show called CES 2025.
That's the one.
And I believe that you made your way there, sir. Is that correct?
That is correct. It was a first of many times. My first at CES, my first on the West Coast of the States. Unfortunately, I couldn't find the time to go to In-N-Out Burger. I know it's a shame. I regret that. But yes, there was many firsts, and CS was one of them, and it was phenomenal.
Oh, nice, man. All right. So right off the bat, the first thing I want to ask you about, okay? And actually, BT Maverick beat me to the punch. How about those CES intimacy dolls? Man, no, I'm just playing. We're not going to cover that here. You got the wrong channel, man. Come on, man. Were they really lifelike, bro? Because from what I was seeing on the videos, there were some interesting tech devices there.
I mean, there were interesting tech devices, and I don't know for anybody in chat, I don't know for you, it was my first time in Vegas, and it's a different world.
Oh,
it's a different world. Have you been
to Vegas? Yes, okay. I've been to Vegas a few times. Never to CES though, but I have been to Vegas.
When you've been there, were they hanging out cards in the streets?
Yes, they were. Yeah.
Okay, so Pokemon cards.
If you call them that, sure. Got to catch them all, right?
Exactly. Yep.
Hey, man, you call that number on that card, you're gonna catch something. That's for sure. You're gonna catch something. It's not a cold.
So that was awesome. Yep.
So we got so Clef, we got we had I want to say a Discord extravaganza this past week, man. During CES, we were in there every day, just chatting about the press conferences, clowning on Nvidia, clowning on AMD. All right, for the things that they didn't show, for the things that they tried to sell. I was a day one 5080 a potential buyer, and then I've kind of changed my mind throughout the days, but everybody kind of knows how that is. Maybe I'll circle back. Okay, I don't know yet.
I hope we get to dig a little deeper into that. You change your mind to what?
Yes. We'll get into it. Okay. So right off the bat, man, let's get started with, you know what? Let's do it in this order. Okay, Clef. Yes. I do know that there was handheld. It was a handheld galore over there, correct?
Yes, indeed it was. So much so that I didn't get to see them all, but like a lot of people that were there will tell you that a lot of the buzz of CES was around handhelds.
Yep.
And of course, a big chunk, and for great reasons, a big chunk out of that was thanks to Lenovo with the announcement of the Legion Go S and the Legion Go 2, which are...
Oh, nice. So you were able to get hands-on with the device.
I was hands-on. I was there. I even had those, my cowboy hat.
Oh, look at this, dude. They gave me an Indiana Jones hat.
Yeah, nice. They did, because they had this whole thing, and it's the theme of their marketing campaign, like cowboys playing the Legion Go. So they were giving everybody hats. Yeah, and I did review the Lenovo Legion Go 1. And much like a lot of other creators and media outlet out there, I was fairly critical of it. But the Legion, well, first of all, the Legion Go 1 got a lot better over time, especially with their software, obviously. But the Legion Go 2 is really the epitome of all the time that came through, all the feedback they got, and its little subtle tweaks. But from what I've experienced, for what little time that I've had it in my hands, they really went back on the drawing board and made those changes that, in my opinion, will make it one of the hottest piece of tech in 2025.
Nice.
You heard it here.
Okay. And I do know that they did announce the Legion Go S, which is a Windows version, and then later on, in a few months, we're gonna get the Steam OS variation of that. It's the Windows version is the white version that you see right here on the screen, and then they were able to secure the black and purple, right? I think it has purple kind of accents.
Yeah, it's very subtle, but yes, you are correct. Yeah. I believe the fonts on the buttons are purple, if I'm not mistaken.
So right off the bat, what I want to ask you, having hands-on, and this is what I understand, and you correct me because you were there.
Yep.
The Legion Go is using some type of is it the Z2 Extreme that it's using, or is the Z2 Extreme on the Lenovo Legion Go 2? Which one's using the Z2?
So, okay, technically, there are some information that I saw that I think is under NDA, but in terms of the Go S and Go 2 that is pretty much out and about, is it's Z2 for the both of them, but they're not the exact same chip. So the Go 2, I'm sorry, is indeed the Z2 Extreme, and the Z2 Extreme is based off of, we don't know the exact details, but it's pretty much guaranteed to be based off of the Ryzen 9 AI HX 370, that name.
Okay.
So yeah, and what I would expect is exactly like it was the case with the Z1 Extreme. We're gonna have, you know, a special path of drivers for those chips, and probably anywhere between 5 to 10-ish% less FPS versus its comparable chip, which is, all things considered, you know, not substantial enough to make that big a difference. That is, if ever that difference does exist.
And one of the themes that I got, right, and you correct me if I'm wrong, is that it's all about software and efficiencies. Is that kind of like the theme we got going at CES this year? Software that these manufacturers, and I'm talking about more on the graphics side of things, looking for efficiency, looking for software to really upscale things. Like, that's kind of like the theme of this show, I think. Like, did you guys get that perception?
Okay, so I'd say not really. Like, it's being talked about. There was well, a lot of panelists that came to the Lenovo X AMD show to talk about hardware, and software was talked about as well, but ultimately I don't think they made it the focus. However, I do believe that you raise a fair point, and this is a challenge that personally I have this theory on how it all works. I don't think that's going to change with the whatever the next Ally is going to be, and the Lenovo Legion Go S and Go 2. In fact, I would expect that the Go S is not going to run into that much of a problem due to Steam OS and the heavy workload that Proton does in the back end.
Gotcha, for the efficiencies. And okay. So one of the things also that I saw was that give me your experience. Did you, because you had hands-on with it, right? With the Go S?
Yeah.
So this form factor, right? Give me, what do you think? Do you like what they did? It looks like they kind of it looks a little 1X-ish a little bit. You know which one I'm talking about? The 1X Player 2-ish with the round edges.
Yeah, the 1X Player 2 Pro, right? The one that
correct.
is I'd say it feels a little bit better. Definitely you have a nice ergonomic bump in the back, and I don't know if there are a whole lot of pictures grabbing it from the backside of the device, but yeah, you definitely have a nice grip. Overall, it feels good, and that goes for both of them. But if specifically talking about the S, you know, the fact that it's one big unit but it doesn't feel as big as it is definitely one of the plus of that device. And then you have all the added features that they brought to the thing, which are the trigger lock in the back, and the nub. Although it is small, for what little time that I've experienced it, it was very pleasant to use. I don't know if have you ever used the nub on the GPD Win 4 by any chance?
No, I have not.
Okay, so for those in chat that might have, I would say that this felt better in terms of just controlling your thumb with that little nub, because it is fairly small, right? If you compare it to the stick, it looks quite small, but it was quite efficient to just use to move the mouse with it.
Awesome. Okay, and then did you use you told me you got hands-on with both variations, right? With the Windows and the Steam.
Yeah.
If you're able to, if there's any NDAs or anything, I mean, you stop me right there. Are they kind of trying to do what MSI did, where they kind of integrated the Xbox Game Bar for their TDP and stuff like that, or are they going back to the Lenovo software to kind of take care of those things?
That is a great question. I honestly, and you're talking specifically about the Windows version, obviously.
The Windows version, yeah, because
right.
and I asked you that question for a specific reason that we're going to get into in a little bit. But did you notice anything about that? Did you notice them working hand in hand with Microsoft to create a widget for that game bar?
No, I can't say that I have, but I can tell you that the VP of Xbox hardware, Jason, I believe is his name.
Yeah, Jason Ronald, the wizard.
He was there.
Yep.
He was there,
yeah, okay.
and he talked. So for sure, and it was almost weird in a way because you had someone from Steam, Pierre-Loup Griffet, who was there, that also had a lot to say about the Go S and Steam version and how Steam is moving and Valve is moving in a direction. But so was Jason, and so I think ultimately it was more about just the collaboration and trying to bring the best experience. But as far as like having a specific implementation for the Go S Windows or Go to Windows, well, not that there's going to be a Go to Steam OS, but I don't remember anything specific that was addressed at that conference. With that said, I don't know if you remember, I think it was sometime in 2024, Microsoft did say that they were working on a UI specifically for handhelds because they see the traction and they want to have a better gaming-centric UI. So
correct.
It's going to come at some point, but that was not addressed at that moment.
Yeah, interesting because the MSI Claw AI that's coming out, right? I think it comes out in February.
Yep.
One of my good buddies, MJ Dark, he has it, I think, pre-ordered and it's coming to him. But they were actually pretty, I want to say, pretty smart of them to put their kind of controls for the device using that game bar. And I was wondering if that was the start of something that we are going to see going forward with these OEMs, to see how much they leverage that game bar to do exactly those things, because the game bar is very snappy on PC.
It is
very snappy.
Yep.
So it would be interesting if they do that. And more in line, like the reason that I asked you the question is because there was a lot of rumors of why Jason Ronald from Microsoft was going to be there. Were they going to announce a partnership with Steam? Were they going to announce Game Pass finally available on Steam? Were they going to show off their UI elements? And from picking up on what you said, it sounds like they were there just to be present and just to let people know that they're paying attention to the space and that they're being observant of whatever this kind of transforms into. Because the thing is that, the slander that I have to give Xbox a little bit right now. Here we go. Here's the slander, right? Is that with the business need shifting and their business plans shifting.
Yep.
They kind of have a lot of things that are incomplete at the moment, right? I feel.
I agree. No, I think you're right.
So things are in motion, but you know how gamers are. We're impatient. we don't want to wait. We want it now. So you leave people wondering what these things are, and the community starts imagining what this could be, and then it falls short of expectation. You see what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, I understand, but I do believe that if they're falling off of expectations, it's because we're trying to go faster than they are either able or willing to go.
Right.
At the end of the day, in my mind, when I was sitting there, the reason why Jason was there was Xbox is or what's the promotional campaign? Everything is an Xbox.
Yeah. My toilet is an Xbox too, Clef. You know that?
Right. To me, that was sort of the follow-up to that marketing campaign, in the sense that a Lenovo Legion Go is an Xbox. Every other subsequent devices that will follow are an Xbox. So it's Microsoft just making sure that they're present in these moments to let the people know that, yes, this is part of our ecosystem.
Yeah.
Whether it is, whether it isn't, that's debatable.
Yeah. But I mean, and I always get into this with K. Asante, so I'll use you today to get into it. And Clef, feel free to push back, brother. I love pushback. I love. I feel free, brother. This is an open dialogue show. With this whole thing, right? Like it just makes me chuckle every time they say that, because I'm like, but you can play PlayStation games on your PC, so is it a PlayStation also?
Look,
you see what I'm saying, Clef? You know
absolutely.
What I'm saying?
I understand why people are making fun of it. However, I can't blame them for doing so.
Oh, of course. It's the right thing. It's the right business move.
Absolutely. It's a brilliant marketing campaign. And, it's, to me, it's kind of this passive aggressive. No, not even passive aggressive. It's that passive way of establishing dominance in the market of just like, look, doesn't matter what you have, we're here.
Yeah.
And you can get your gaming on any device if you want to, band with us. So, yeah, to me, it's a strong marketing campaign, but I also, at the same time, understand why it's being ridiculed a little bit.
Yeah, you get it, right? Because it's like, when we've all grown up with this stuff. So when you have Microsoft out here telling you that your calculator is an Xbox, you're like, wait a minute, like.
Absolutely.
I don't know about that.
I mean, if anything, I'd like to see more games and give me things to play that makes me feel as part of the Xbox ecosystem. But
yeah, I agree, brother. Yeah. So let me ask you this.
Yes,
Clef, from the many handhelds that you saw and you got hands on, give me one that stood out to you the most, and some more that you got to mess around with, man. Tell me what good stuff do us PC handheld gamers got coming in 2025, man? What are we gonna drop coin on?
Okay, so actually, there's one that I was lucky enough to lay hands on, and if for some reason he's watching or he hears about this, I was invited, as well as a bunch of other YouTubers, to ETA Prime's room for a short time, and I got to hold the Zotac Zone.
And
I was shocked that. So I don't know for you, I don't know if you looked a little bit at the Zotac Zone. Everything I stumbled upon was basically just people bashing that device.
Yes, I have seen the same thing around the handheld community. Is this it right here? The Zone, right?
The Zotac Zone.
Yeah, I think that the specs were a little underwhelming. I think that's the reason why, but tell me, what are your thoughts?
There are reasons why I understand that it's getting some hate. I totally get it. But, as a guy that review controllers a lot, for me, inputs, the way that a device feels is so important. Because at the end of the day, if you know a little about computers, and especially with the power that we have in our hands nowadays, doesn't matter what the game is. You can lower the resolution, drop the settings, go into the .ini in some games still, and just find a way to make it work. So I love power as much as the next guy. Don't get me wrong. I'm going for that 5090. But
oh, okay.
These buttons, you just putting it out there. These buttons you cannot change. You're stuck with whatever they're giving you. And when I held the Zotac Zone, oh my lord, does it feel good. It feels so much better than I expected, especially if there are people that play fighting games in chat. That D-pad, don't sleep on it. I was looking at it. I thought, no way. ETA was like, no, hold it. Play Marvel vs. Capcom. I was shocked. This is such a great handheld. The ergonomics are phenomenal. The trackpads, they actually behave differently. Looking at you, Ioneo-kun. It's just a great device. Overall, it has some things to work on. I get it. And yes, it's
so
quite surprising.
Tell me, this particular device, besides the ergonomics being amazing, which is very important on a handheld because you're going to be holding it the whole time.
Yeah, indeed.
What do we got for a screen? Did they rock a OLED? Are they doing normal LCD? What are they doing?
Right. So the one I got to see is the original one, and they already announced the successor, right? And as far as I know, at least for the time being, and I just saw earlier today on their Reddit that apparently the second one are not completely final in terms of specs. But from what I understand, at this point in time, that might change. They both have the same panel, so we're looking at a 120 hertz AMOLED screen.
Really?
And I have the Ioneo Evo and I have the F1 Pro. They both have an OLED panel. And I'm pretty sure from having looked at the Zotac that it's exactly the same panel. Unfortunately, I didn't have a macro lens to look at the subpixel, but the Evo and F1 Pro have the same subpixel. I'm pretty sure it's the same case with the Zotac, just haven't played with it. So it's overall a very pleasant panel. You know, you have the beautiful, vibrant OLED colors that we all come to love and appreciate. Overall, faster response time. I did have some points about the F1 Pro panel. I think this one displays the same little things, which are not the end of the world for games. It's absolutely fine.
Okay. And I do see that it has the dials. These dials are like to, I guess, adjust your joystick tension, correct?
That's what I thought. I thought they were to tighten the sticks, as you said, like the Apex 4 that you have, I believe. You know, I thought it was kind of...
Shout out to FlyDigi, by the way. And Clef, me and you, we love Fly. And to, if Slow-Mo's listening out there, this is for you. It ain't cheating, man. You don't have to use those features.
True.
All right? I get piled on every day about that. But go ahead, Clef. What were you saying about the...
So those dials, things. And I don't remember which did what, but one was to change the volume. So volume down, volume up.
Oh, wow.
And the other one was to change the brightness of your screen. So, look, I would have preferred for us to be able to change the tightness of your stick because, you know, it's nice to have the volume and brightness, but I can also just swipe from right to left and get it done with, right? So, not the end of the world. Overall, I was, you know, happy about the D-pad and also happy about the trackpads. Very responsive. They felt good. And the fact that they behaved differently. The left was kind of a scroll wheel, whereas the right was a mouse. So, yeah. I don't know if they were able to be implemented in Steam input like you would on a Steam Deck, but it was pleasant just to see an integration that seems to be thought out.
What would be dope, in my opinion, is, of course, with software updates, give the user a little bit of customization. I'm sorry, my Cuban American today is coming out. so give us the option to change, you know, different functions in it. Like, for example, if I want to rotate the left one and then turn on FSR, let me do that. You know, whatever the case may be, like whatever shortcut I want to use, allow me to do so. That would be pretty cool.
Absolutely.
Wow, okay.
Might be the case if I'm being honest. I didn't get to play, like I just saw the app booting a game, but I didn't spend time looking into the software that Zotac built for this device, if I'm being perfectly honest.
HDR as well. That's pretty good.
HDR indeed. Yeah, it really was a good looking screen, and paired with great buttons. It also had a trigger stop for your triggers. So it was really... It has a kickstand. Like, it wasn't missing anything. Honestly, I was shocked.
Oh, wow. Look at that. Yeah. Okay. So this is the one device that really kind of like got you by surprise that you weren't even looking forward to. And you're like, you know what? Now I might be interested in that.
Right.
Okay, cool. What else? What else would you say that from the handheld space? What else would you say that really caught your attention?
So for me, as we mentioned, the go-to and the Zotac Zone. And that's where it's a little hard for me to say, because when it comes to the Chinese brands, INEO, 1xPlayer, GPD,
CCP.
I'm sorry?
CCP devices. We got you. That's what we call them in the Discord.
they tend to release devices throughout the year, right? So from what I've seen so far, and I also made a video about that one, which was the 1xPlayer G1. That's a very nice device as well, but I also understand that it just may not be a device for everybody. At the end of the day, if you don't really care for productivity at all, do you really want to have a big keyboard attached to your handheld? Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But with that said, if this is something that sounds appealing, that is another device that I was extremely pleased with. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to get one, especially since they'll have Intel 255H model, which I'm curious to see how that's going to pan out.
Okay. Interesting. All right. And what else would you say that that kind of got people's attention? Did you get hands-on with the MSI Claw AI?
Did I? I'm trying to remember, because ETA dropped like 5 handhelds. Did I? No, I don't believe I have. No, I didn't see that one. I didn't see the Acer Nitro either.
Mm-hmm.
I saw although they didn't want us to take pictures, I saw the 1X Sugar, but that we're stepping away from x86 or going into Android. But I saw that one. I don't know if you're familiar with what that is.
Yeah, I think that is that the one that flips, kind of like
Yeah.
it has like a clamshell device, like a Win GPD.
So it's not quite. I mean, yes, but really, what it is you have two screens. So you have one that is kind of a 4:3, another one that is a 16:9, and you can sort of flip the orientation and move your controls from one side. It's pretty intense. I mean, it's honest. I'm super excited for that one. If you go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. No. Go ahead. Finish.
I was gonna say, like, if you're into dual screen emulation, 3DS, DS, that's gonna be the device for it. And overall, it felt good. I'm excited to see where they're gonna bring it because it wasn't final. What we saw was not final at all. That's why we couldn't take pictures and videos and all that stuff. Okay. And hey, what's up in the chat, everybody? Black.
Yeah,
oh, I'm blurry.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. So I thought it was me, man. I thought I was already getting sleepy, man. Let me read. MJ Dark's got a thank you so much, man, for $20 super chat. And of course, he needs to go after me because he knows I speak facts. Then he says, "Hello, fellas. John, move on from your Xbox divorce. With Asus and Lenovo, have solid handhelds. What is the issue is that A&E, 1X Player, WinGPD, and others facing keeping up. Do they need to partner with Best Buy or other outlets?" So I think that MJ Dark is basically giving props to Asus and Lenovo. We talk on a daily basis, so I kind of know where his mind frame is. And then he's trying to say that what are these other manufacturers going to do to keep up? So what kind of answer MJ Dark there, Clef, what did you see from CES to let us know that the what we call the CCP devices are keeping up, man, or staying ahead of the game?
I mean, so we're gonna get into politics in some kind of way, but they are so much smaller, but that doesn't mean that they're not talented. There are so much less layers before they can get something moving, and in that respect, I do find that they're able to produce things that are quite interesting and sometimes completely out of the box. If we look at a G1,
I love that.
Sugar. So I think that's where they kind of make a market for themselves by bringing options to the market that ultimately are so different that they have a certain appeal for a certain customer. Of course, they're never going to have the reach that something like a Legion Go will have, or a future Asus Ally subsequent device, whatever. But they're still going to find a market. And also, let's not forget, yes, the Z2 Extreme will most likely get close to the HX370, but chances are that it's not going to be as reliable in terms of drivers because it's not AMD's main line of drivers. It's not going to be as compatible with external GPUs. Like, there are some hurdles that you do have to compromise with going with the bigger brands, whereas if you stick with those INEO, OXP, GPD, you have certain advantages specific to the premium price that they charge. For example, Oculink. I have not seen a single option that includes the Zotac Zone, which Zotac Zone, by the way, is the only one that doesn't use these Z1 or Z2 Extreme. So that's technically another advantage for that one. Another reason why I'm excited for it.
Interesting.
Yep.
Interesting. I think I did see that it's using some type of 8000 chip, right?
I think the first one is using the 7840U, which is kind of what killed it. It felt a little dead on arrival.
Yeah. Long-winded.
Right. But I'm pretty sure that the second one is supposed to come with the HX370. So that, I mean, if really we get that device, I think I'm going to have to be spending a little bit of money there.
Clef, man, you got to slow down, man. Too many handhelds coming out.
I got to.
So let me ask you this, Clef. From the handheld, like from all the handhelds that you saw and kind of the energy there, I did see AMD on hand. Albert, I think is his name, the representative from AMD, saying that he's very passionate about the handheld space, which is good to hear. We do know that they are working with a ton of OEMs, right? Where like was there, you did tell me that there were a lot of people excited for the handhelds. Like, do you think that we are on the cusp of just an explosion of this being mainstream, or is the Switch 2 gonna come in soon, be announced this week, and eat everybody's lunch, and everybody's gonna forget what happened at CES? What do you think about that?
So, as an enthusiast, as someone that is PC first, although I have my eggs in every basket, I'd love to say, yeah, this is the year. I don't think it is. And you've said the reason, Nintendo. At the end of the day, what's that expression? Money is king, or
time is money. I've heard time is
know,
money.
As a French Canadian guy. Yeah.
Listen. Let me tell you what's simple. As you're gonna understand this gamer talk. Mario, we give you our money. Everybody understands that. You show us Mario, we give you money.
Of course,
that's it. That's a universal language.
Yeah.
So you do think that this week, Switch 2, rumored to be announced. I don't know if you saw that today.
No, I haven't. No.
Yeah, supposedly there's rumors going around that the reveal of the hardware will be on the 16th. Remember last time you were on a show, I did tell you it was going to be a Switch 1.5. You remember that?
Yep.
I know you've seen the leak, sir. Would you say that I was on the right track, or do you think that I was wrong?
I have not. So I have not. What leaks are you talking about? The weeks that have been happening from like 2 weeks ago,
dude. This is the worst kept secret and like of all time.
Indeed.
Yeah, like this is like, come on, it's all but confirmed.
Yeah, I mean,
the lady in Burger King told me what this thing looks like already.
Why do I keep going? So for some reason, I didn't even realize it's someone on one of my videos that made me realize, wait, was that a Switch 2 accessory? I know that the Genki boot, apparently, and even in one of my videos, I was at Adobe Fullness Electronics, Chinese company that makes accessories, and they have a Switch 2 rubber, and I was right next to it. I never saw it. If I did, I would have opened it. But so wait, are we talking rumor about power here? Like that it's pretty much confirmed it's NVIDIA. It's going to run some DLSS.
Yeah,
we don't know which.
It's hard. I know that there's been leaks about everything about this thing, and it ends up being fake. So it's kind of hard to tell what's real, what's not real. But what people are pretty much putting together, the puzzle that's being put together is that, yes, of course, they are going with NVIDIA again. Okay, so it's some type of next generation chip for them, and then there's no mention if it's going to have DLSS. Nobody knows that, but everybody assumes so, because why not? NVIDIA is leveraging AI heavily, and then as well, even the hardware, what it looks like, was shown by someone, and Nintendo basically had to go on and let a news outlet know, hey, listen, that wasn't officially revealed by us. So just so you know, whatever mock-up is out there, that wasn't us. So look it up, man. I know you've been kind of traveling. If you want to see what the Switch 2 looks like, it's easy to find.
Right. Well, yeah, and you're talking about everything that we keep seeing with that C button that people think it's going to be the cast. Yeah. Right. So that's what we're talking. I mean, honestly, if it comes out that this is not the Switch 2,
oh my god,
wow, that would be hilarious.
What a troll by Nintendo if they do that. Can you imagine?
By Nintendo or whoever did it first, right? Because it started, as far as I can tell, it started with a Chinese girl that said she had a mock-up sent from. Well, actually, no. Technically, it started with Mobapad. Mobapad made an announcement, and then I guess the first time we saw something was that girl. Right. I mean, it would be hilarious. But to go back to the subject, Nintendo is Nintendo. And at the end of the day, they are positioning themselves in a way that they will just have a price. And I don't expect it's going to be cheap. I still expect there's going to be a price bump. But it's not going to be the cost of a Lenovo Legion Go S or
Yeah, no,
Go
that
2
would be
or
suicide. Yeah, that would kill them. I
right.
don't think that they would do that.
The only thing I feel could compete with a Nintendo Switch will probably going to be like an Ally open box at Best Buy or one of the entry level Steam Deck kind of thing. Like I expect to be the kind of devices that have a potential to go up against the Switch 2 in terms of price. But then you think of the notoriety of Nintendo and just the software, and assuming that it's going to be fully backward compatible this time around, for once, we're going to jump into a device where you're not hungry for games. You're going to have options anyways, right? And there's a lot of people, I'm sure that we can all agree, there's a lot of people that have been sort of putting Nintendo off to the side because they just want a bigger, better, stronger device. So once it comes, there's going to be a lot of backlog for a lot of gamers out there just thinking, finally, I can play on, superior hardware. So personally, I think Nintendo is going to once again sort of represent a big challenge, a big hurdle to get past. However, with the way things are going, I do believe that Nintendo, that has a tendency of going for pretty much outdated hardware, even from a new release, I feel like they're going to be able to close that gap faster. And potentially in 2 to 3 years, we might see like a huge rise, because at that point, people are going to start going through the same challenges that we experience with currently with the Nintendo Switch.
Man, and with the way that GPU and CPU tech is just moving, this AI stuff is just going crazy, man. And it's just everything's moving in like in sequences that are just faster than the speed of light, right? So
it is.
Clef, I got a confession to make. So as you can tell, I'm solid John Snake today. Okay, I got that AI picture going at Snake here. All right, I bought a PS5 Pro, but I still can't find my camera. Okay?
I wanted to ask.
But I'll tell you this. Go ahead.
Well, because when Black Viking said that your divorce with Xbox, and it just like reminded me that you did buy a PS5 Pro.
I did.
So do you regret it? Do you regret it?
Sir, you know what? I've been asked that question many times. Not yet. No, I do not, because I'm not playing third parties on it. That's why. Like I'm not. Yeah, but I get what you mean. So let me ask you this question. Clef throwing, damn, everybody's throwing them daggers. All right, Clef. So I want to know something. And I was reading your poker face while you were talking so eloquently about Nintendo. Just don't answer this, but I'm gonna tell by your face, okay? And Doc Dark says that I do regret it. Doc, I don't regret nothing, all right? I don't regret nothing that I do. And he said, listen to his voice. Listen to me, man. I don't regret nothing, okay? So let me ask you this question, Clef.
Yes.
I can see. I'll see it. I'm an investigator. That's what I do. Okay, that's what I do for my day job.
Mm-hmm.
I think you got hands-on with the Switch 2, and you just can't say anything.
I wish.
I think that you and all the wonderful peeps that they do a great job on those other channels. I think you guys got hands-on. Nintendo said, if you utter a word, we will send someone to your house, the SWAT team, and we will wipe all of you out.
Look, I'm gonna put this as simple and as clear as I could ever. If ever I had an opportunity like that, I would literally say to Nintendo, well, how about I don't go in there and try it, because this is too much excitement for me to keep to myself. I assure you, I personally, like, no.
Oh man,
I can speak for others. I don't think so.
Okay, I believe you. Look at Doc Dark. He should have investigated that 33 teraflop plane. I'm getting burned more. And look at this. Ever since John bought a Pro, his voice went up. Yikes, man! I'm getting cooked. And you know what? Rightfully so, man. Rightfully so. That's what we do around here. All right. So let me ask you this, Clef. Yep. Let's move on to the next kind of main event, and I'll let you choose. Okay. What you want to talk about first? Do you want to talk about AMD's kind of presentation and GPU offerings here, or you want to go straight into NVIDIA?
So I'll be honest. So you have to keep in mind, right? It was extremely busy, and I came back and got into videos. So
Okay.
I didn't look all that much into AMD. I know they have the new
Mhm.
9070 XT. I know it's supposed to keep up with the 5070, which is why they're using that 70 at the end. At least that's what I heard.
Right,
Um,
right.
and that I'm pretty sure they announced a new version of FSR, correct?
That is correct. FSR4. They also had Matt Booty at the presentation, but so what happened is that like we were live viewing it. Me and a couple of AMD boys. That's what we call them. All right, Floodzilla. Shout out to you, Mister. This guy loves AMD, right? He Lisa
Well,
Sue all day.
yeah,
Okay.
I was gonna say Flood is not gonna like me.
It's all right, bro. Like, who 12% use AMD? So, hey, man, if you want listen, everyone needs to play the role in Nintendo with older tech. Okay, so they'll play the role in Nintendo here. Oh,
there it is. We
there
summoned Flood.
There he is.
What? Oh my lord. Oh my lord.
Okay. So what I will say, I promise, Kay, I will not start a GPU war in here. Okay, so I gotta keep my promise, man. I gotta keep my
MJ
promise.
went hard.
Oh man. So all right. So what I was gonna tell you is that when you take a look at their presentation, right? Everyone in our group at least was looking forward to them really showing off, RDNA 4, showing off the 5970, I believe, card with all the new features, the AI upscaling and all that good stuff. And unfortunately, all they really showed was Matt Booty came out. Okay. And when Matt Booty comes out on stage, you know that two things are happening. One, you're gonna delay a game, and two, an announcement is gonna fall a little short. Okay,
Right.
and unfortunately, yes, that's exactly what happened. There was an announcement of an announcement to come. Okay, and then the same individual, Albert from AMD, really cool guy. I actually like that representative from AMD. I think he's a cool guy, and he, you could tell that he's doing his sales pitch stuff, but it looks he's very good about it.
Yep.
He says that, of course, AMD wanted to take the opportunity to know what NVIDIA was doing and where they were pricing to counter them later this month, probably, or next month, to counter them and really have a nice showing, a nice presentation dedicated to FSR4 and explaining all the goodness that's coming from the AMD guys, which is really good, Clef. I'm really happy for, we're joking around, but I am really happy for Team Red and their fans. Yeah. They're excited about, about what AMD is doing in the space. They like the vision that they have, which is be more centered around rasterization and be more centered around kind of like that mid-tier gamer kind of, which is it's good. It's good that we have someone out there like that. But what I will say is that unfortunately we didn't see anything in regards to their graphics offerings other than it's coming.
I see.
And stay tuned. That's basically what we saw. But they did announce the desktop processors. As you can see here, we got some more laptop processors, and of course the handheld processors were in full effect. Talking about the Z2 Extreme. We also, did you get hands-on with the Asus Flow, the Strix? Oh, okay. That looks like that might be the next generation of handhelds when they can shrink that down.
Of course. And I even saw the 5000 series card, and I was like, oh my lord,
dude, how massive is that thing?
It's honest, it's not that bad.
Yeah, that sounded weird. Hold on, you gotta pause for a second. Okay, go ahead.
It's really not that bad. I mean, no, and like I have a 4090 from MSI on my system, and I was trying to gauge it, and it didn't seem bigger. If I'm being honest, it seemed pretty much exactly the same.
Okay.
So I don't think that's going to be an issue. And I just want to put it out there. I've had this for about a month. I need to install this in my system so I can see where AMD is important for me, but not with my graphics cards. Okay, not with my GPUs.
There you go. There you
not
go.
with my GPUs. No,
they
no,
they gotta step up that GPU game, is what you're saying.
Well,
Clef.
Look, to go back to what you were saying, FSR4 and AMD having that open source brand agnostic approach. I am so happy that this is a thing and that they keep going in that direction. This is awesome for all the gamers around the world.
They're important in the space. I really do feel that way.
And this is something that I think is all in their honor. It's something I hope they never change. At the end of the day, I have the utmost respect for AMD. And I gotta say, I was converted with the 78X3D. Like, that chip, that CPU gave such a jump to my 4090 at the time. So that's why the moment the 9800 released, I went and picked it up because I knew that I was gonna need it for the 5090. But as far as, for me, DLSS more than proved its worth.
Oh, wow. Here we go.
It did.
Flood, save your man here, man. What's going on with Clef, okay? So, all right. We apologize for not giving AMD any more love on the show. Unfortunately, you got to show up in order to get love. You see what I'm saying? And they said that they wanted us to wait. So you know what? We will wait till the episode where they fully unveil this, and me and Kay Asante will break it down. So
I do have a question for you, because again, I saw some snippet of news here and there, but does FSR have anything along the lines of multi-frame generation like the DLSS does?
From my understanding, they've already had multi-frame kind of solutions for gamers. They had AM/FM, which that you can use on any. It's a driver based solution, but with the AI space, that is where they are leveraging FSR4, right, and their 5070 solution, I guess you can say. So they're this is them going into the AI waters, okay? And Clef, here's the thing. Here's the thing. We know Nvidia has been rocking this already since about the 20 series, sorry.
Yep.
Okay, so they've more than put their toes in the water. They're basically their whole body's in there, okay? Then we also know that even PlayStation is now messing with AI with the pisser, of course, which is going to go through its growing pains right now, as we see, just like DSLL. Man, I can never say this thing. Okay,
DLSS.
Yes, DLSS. Sorry, and then also AMD. Here we go. Now they're gonna start with the AI stuff, and it's going to be very interesting, man. We're in an interesting paradigm here, and what I mean by that is that from everything that I'm hearing, right? From everything that I'm hearing from people in the know, people that have been playing PC on PC for a while, and they're giving me feedback. I'm understanding that as these generations keep on progressing, we're being sold software solutions by Nvidia more than ever, and they want you to invest in their tech and in their software solutions for them to be able to achieve what it is that they are promising. And it also, in their minds, moves the business forward, and they're helping everybody, right? They're helping because you can get a lower end card that's going to be able to give you big performance with help, and then also the devs, they have kind of crutches that they can use in order to optimize these games. Now, there's people that like it, there's people that don't like it. Listen, as long as it works, I'll be happy, but I do understand for those that are a little concerned about this future of AI upscaling stuff that we're going in the frame gen and all that stuff.
I mean, I get it, but at the end of the day, to me the value has already taken so much space, and you don't even have to look at XESS, DLSS, FSR, or AFMF. Have you tried lossless scaling?
Yes, I have.
Right. So and you've tried it on your rig, not just a handheld?
No, I've only tried it on handheld, and I know that they just brought out literally an update that does up to 20 times frame gen. That's crazy.
I didn't. So, okay, I didn't know that. But that's exactly where I was going. The lossless scaling I've been using on my rig, and it's so good. Like, oh man, like you take peak hardware and you push those frames and it just goes like butter. That's why, you know, with DLSS 4 and multi-frame gen, and yes, okay, I understand that you have AFMF and you have FSR, but it's not even about holding a candle to NVIDIA. It does not hold a candle to lossless scaling. That's where I have an issue.
But we gotta hook you and Flood up in the Discord, man. That's gonna be interesting. You gotta join us in there. Promise you're gonna pass by this week so that we can have that
I'm always there. I'm always. In fact, while I was at C.E.S, I saw you guys pop on my icons. There are a few times I'm like, oh, do I jump in there? And,
dude, don't be shy. I mean, MJ Dark's a little weird, but don't worry about that.
MJ Dark, when he's got questions, he knows he can DM me anytime. Always happy to chat.
He's a good dude, bro. He's a good dude. That's one of my best friends, man. So also, so all right. Let's jump in.
All right, jump off a cliff, you mean? Because we're lemmings.
Exactly. So Flood he's coming for us, man. All right. Hey, but you know what? I got him off my back because of the PS5 Pro. Let them come after you today, okay?
Okay, so, all good.
So let me tell you. Let me say this, Clef. Of course, bro. Like, we're gonna sound like fanboys right now, but come on, man. Jensen coming out with that ray tracing jacket completely stole the show, man. He just comes out there, ray tracing jacket on, like a $10,000 jacket.
Those extra textures. Oh yeah, that was
beautiful. Oh my god, Flood. What's going on with this man?
RTX on for sure.
Oh man, so we do know that NVIDIA came out in full effect. Jensen was the showman that I have, I guess, learned that he is. And let me tell you something, man. I bought the hype on day one. I bought into that press conference, everything they were showing, hook, line, and sinker. I was, you know what? I'm day one on the 5080. I'm gonna upgrade my 4080 Super. This is going down. I'm there day one, and then reality set in. Then the Discord chat started educating me, and then I started watching videos, feedback on CES, and I don't know if it's money well spent right now. So I'm having my second doubts, but I also said the same thing about the PS5 Pro, and then I went on the first day and I just got it. So it is what it is, man. But what did you think of first of all, of Jensen, of his presentation? And second of all, what do you think of NVIDIA, man? Do you think that they're pushing and innovating forward? Are you happy with this generation? Are you not happy? Are you disappointed? Tell me what's your mind.
So much to unpack. First, Jensen, as always, I mean, he's just a legend. He keep doing his thing. I've nothing against the guy. How can I put this? I like a little bit of he's a character.
Oh yeah, right? I love that.
Exactly. I just love it because at the end of the day, I mean, he delivers. Whether we want to agree or disagree, he delivers. And for NVIDIA to become the #1 most profitable company in the world, obviously there's something they're doing right. Now, of course, AI has a lot to do with it all. I get it. But nonetheless, I got to give praise where praise is due. That's the way that I look at it.
You heard that, Flood? You heard that, Flood? Why don't you give Jensen his props for that ray tracing jacket? And even Dorian said Jensen's got that big D energy, man. And yes, he does. Okay,
he does. And at the end of the day, and I'm not saying people should do what I do, but that's the way that I approach it. I edit on a Mac, and I hate Apple. But I can give them credits where credit is due. And when it comes to productivity, that's where I do my work. Just because I it pulls me away from the distraction, pulls me away from the gaming. And when I want the absolute best experience for my gaming, I go to Nvidia. That's what I do, because in my opinion, they offer the best there is on the market.
Flood is being savage in here. Flood, settle down, man. What are you doing out here?
Hey, look, I'm ready. I'm ready to go up for Nvidia. Put me in the ring.
It's all in good fun, man. It's all in good fun.
Of course. Look, the card. Okay, how can I put this? Just like Apple, there are certain things about the announcements, like, for example, we will support previous generation, and then but only the 5000 series gets the multi-frame gen. Is it really support? Right? It kind of feels like a middle finger to anybody that doesn't have the previous the next generation. And what can I say? Nvidia, right? That's just what they do. At this point, anyone expecting any different should just be like,
what's crazy is that even Nvidia has exclusives and Xbox doesn't. But you know what I'm saying? Even they have exclusives, multi-frame gen. You want it, you got to buy the 50 series. And yes, that is something that is a known practice, but probably they'll push it to the 4090 series at least, right?
I don't think so.
No, you don't think so?
I don't think so, honestly. I look, I'd love for them to do that. And the last time that we've seen Nvidia do something similar was when they were having pressure. It feels like yesterday, but it's actually 5-6 years ago, if not, no, probably more than that. And in the position that they're at, like, their cards are not only for gaming, they're also for AI. They're just out there. And there's one thing that I will say I was happily surprised in my mind. It was going to be a lot more expensive. Not to say it's cheap. I'm not saying it's cheap.
So a couple of people I've spoken to will tell you that they actually, that's mission accomplished for them. That's actually something that Nvidia was kind of putting out there, higher prices, so that when they initially released the prices that they did, people were okay with it because it wasn't as high as, the rumors were going around. Like I saw not too long ago, like a month ago, the 5090 was rumored to be $2,500, $3,000. Then we also had the uncertainty of any implications of the tariffs that might be coming. Right. I saw a lot of concerns from people thinking that this was going to be high, but at the end of the day, the way that I see it, I think that yes, there is a lot of snake oil here in the way that they're moving, but it's what you said that I have to agree with, which is kind of like the same. I've noticed that a lot of companies do this. PlayStation, Nvidia, Apple, they sell you the snake oil, but they make it look good. You see what I'm saying? They really know how to present things in a way that is favorable to people that are hyped for their brand and their products. And I think that one of the things that Jensen was able to kind of, I'm thinking of it strategically, it was pretty smart of them to hype people up with a $579 card that is going to have 4090 performance, asterisk. All right. We all know it's not 1-to-1. Right. The 5070 is going to need all of the help it can get. It's going to need the frame gen. It's going to need DLSS. We understand that. But my pushback to those that are being a little bit critical and hard on this marketing strategy is that if you have a 4090 currently, right?
Yep.
If I were to buy a 5070 and we're both playing Doom, the Dark Ages, which is going to be a new game, right? Let's say that it has DLSS 4. Let's say that it has frame gen.
Yep.
Technically, the promise is that me and you are going to have the same performance, that we're going to have the same experience, even though I understand I'm getting help from the software of NVIDIA. Right. To the person that bought that 5070, as long as things work like they're supposed to, and we have no reason not to believe NVIDIA that it won't, I think that's going to be a good experience. So
yes, and I think it's I get the snake oil, and I think it's a very carefully crafted experience and very, of course, methodical chosen words, because at the end of the day, you hear something like that and you think, oh, well, I'm not going to buy an aftermarket 4090 because it's not going to be worth the price that people are going to ask for it. I'm just going to get a 5070 instead, which is going to cost way less and is going to match the performance. When in reality, as you said, it's not quite that. So yes, there's definitely snake oil in there. And to answer Flood in chat, is it worth multi-frame gen for $1,000? Absolutely not, especially when you can achieve pretty impressive results with lossless scaling. However, to me, and here's the thing. I buy these things not necessarily for the games. Of course, the games are a component, but I just am so impressed with the tech. I like to dissect it, so to speak. So, and that's the thing. These cards exist for a lot of different segments of a consumer market, right? Not everyone is going to jump on these graphics cards, and I totally get it. But at the end of the day, if I look at what they're presenting in terms of a leap technologically, I am hyped. That's really what it comes down to. I mean, they're proposing something that is so impressive, whether it be fake frames or real frames.
That's the big thing now, man.
Frames. I'll take it. To me, it's frames.
Yeah, it's just funny because in the PC kind of space right now, like, I'm not gonna lie, it's getting a little comical, Clef, where now it's like, okay, like, when is enough, right? Like, I have an OLED Asus 144 hertz monitor, beautiful image quality, all that good stuff. Like, okay, fine. Maybe I can upgrade later on to a 240 hertz, and then maybe I can upgrade later to a 360 hertz. When is enough? Like, we're gonna get to the point, CES, 2030, where they're gonna be like, oh, the new DLSS can get you 1,000 frames per second. It's getting a little comical on that sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, just a little bit.
Well, yeah. So I absolutely agree, and I think this is where we're having a little bit of can't find the right word, but
transition.
Well, yes, for sure, but we're also having like one layer that is getting past everything, and there's a lot of other factors that needs to match it for the value to actually be value for the money spent to be worth. To your point, you need to have a super powerful monitor, and we're starting to get better monitors. You need to get a better CPU to manage all that power. And I think VR and potentially AR is one of those things that once it really picks up, it might close that gap, because right now you're absolutely correct. When is it ever enough? It's been enough a while back, honestly.
Yeah, I mean the aim for a lot of people for a long time, ever since I learned what frames were, I'm not gonna lie, I love it. I love being able to get as much as possible, of course. But man, there is something to be said about the days that I just used to play a game and I'm like, I don't know what this is. Like, I don't know what frames it's running. I'm just enjoying the game. And then once you learn about it, and once you kind of taste those waters, and then you go back to a 30 frames game, and then you're like, oh man, I don't know, this feels a little weird. You know what I'm saying? And so, that's it.
Yes.
And you're spoiled.
I have a hot take.
Go ahead.
So you know what you just said about games? That's kind of what I've been feeling for a long time. For me, it's like the games where it's all about just playing and having fun don't really exist in the AAA world. They exist in the indie, and I don't need a 4090 to play indies.
That's a good point.
I just don't. So that's
you don't like playing movie games? That's what you're saying?
I'm not saying I dislike them, but I'll be honest. Like, take for example a Cyberpunk 27, which is a beautiful, gorgeous game.
Sure.
But for me, my experience with peak hardware is booting it, cranking everything up, and seeing how it looks. And for 15 minutes, I'm like, wow, this is amazing. But I'm not about to start playing the game because it is. At the end of the day, this is not what is going to make me play or enjoy or appreciate a game. So, to your point, yes, it's way more than needed. And at the end of the day, where my pleasure is in playing games. It's not even with those high demanding games. So that's why I lean on the tech portion of it. That's why that is where I get my dopamine, so to speak. It's really, and I understand that not everyone wants to go there, and that's absolutely fine. At the end of the day, for me, that's what I do, right? That's why I'm on YouTube making videos. I get riled up about tech.
Yeah, you appreciate the tech and the little, and you like testing out the nuances of, you know, what they're making, and I get that, man, and that's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. For a long time, I like comparing, like I did this for a long time, and then all of a sudden I stopped doing this. But like, I recently, in the last few weeks, I've been playing Crisis Core. Okay, Final Fantasy 7 Reunion. I've been playing. So I've been playing on the PS5 Pro, and then I've been playing on the Retroid Pocket 5. Okay, the reason I've been playing on the Retroid Pocket 5 is because I literally did a playthrough of the game, the PPSSPP version, emulated the PSP OG version, and the remake version, like chapter by chapter. Like I was bouncing in and out, and then it, like, I appreciated how I remembered playing that game. I never beat it back in the day, but I remembered playing it on the PSP. And then after seeing it on the Retroid Pocket 5 with the OLED screen, it looks nice. I see the evolution of the game, and I appreciated it a little bit more as I beat it this morning. I still have to finish beating it, the chapter on the PPSSPP version, but I really appreciated kind of like, you know, how we've evolved, and that's a cool thing. So I can understand why that's satisfying for you as a tech head, that's kind of like where you get your satisfaction from it. I get exactly what you mean. Everybody's a little different in what they look for and what they appreciate, but I know where you're coming from. So go ahead.
To add to your point, it goes in so many directions, right? Handhelds are so much fun. Like the convenience that comes with them is just so nice. And I'm sure you enjoy your PS5 Pro, but I'm sure there was also something special about just being on this little device that lasts
I'll play
X amount of hours.
I love playing on anything. And dude, and you know, we always joke around, like I said in the Discord, we're in there every day. And I just, dude, there's nothing like opening up new tech and you smell it, you know, and you're like, oh yeah, you know, it's a good high, and you smell that plastic that came from a factory and it has, God forbid, anthrax or whatever. You know what? we don't want that, okay?
Wait, but, I want to smell my 55090 when I'm gonna get it. Don't scare me like that. You're like, no, maybe not.
So Clef,
yeah,
I want to ask you one more question, man, and then we'll get into the experience that you had, because I really want to hear about your experience. So
sure.
Was there a lot of talk? You're Dorian Gray, damn. So so you're a little blurry there, Clef. I don't know what's going on, man. Your camera's got FSR apparently,
right?
So Flood, I'm sorry, man. He must be running that beta test of FSR 4, bro. I heard that they give you an FSR camera with everybody that visited CES.
Exactly, that's what it is. I should install my DLSS on it. Oh well, maybe next time.
Flood, everybody is burning us here. So let me ask you this, Clef.
Yes.
Did you get a sense of I heard you get a sense of like excitement for handhelds in the show with, you know, the group that you were with or the circle that you were in. Did you get the same with the fake frames talk? Like, was that a thing that was going around a lot over there, or like, was it all, you know, because you're surrounded by tech heads, so everybody's excited about the tech. Was there anybody that was like a Debbie Downer? Was there a Floodzilla in there, kind of making sure that everybody it gets brought down from Cloud 9? Nope.
Flood, you're alone on your island.
Oh wow. on the 12% AMD island. Yikes.
Right, exactly. No, but honestly, no. And see, that's the funny thing. I could have attended at NVIDIA's presentation, but they had like 3 lines. There was media, which technically I was a part of. There was VIP, and there was like just general. And you had to do the line, and whenever there was going to be no more room, they cut you off. So I was like, no, I'm not just going to wait in line. So a lot of us kind of did the same, just because there's so much to do, there's so much to see, so many events to go to, people to talk to. It's like
you don't want to be in line all day,
right? And I can look at it online. So we kind of all tuned in to some extent, like here and there, bits and pieces, and all had to talk about, oh, that's awesome. But was there a Debbie Downer saying, oh, fake frames? No, not really. I mean, how much? So let me ask this. How much did Flood get to actually experience the LSS? Because if you have,
he to his credit, he did just recently get a 4070 Super.
Okay.
So he you know, he has his criticisms about it, but there are some games that he has given its props to. But Flood likes to keep it real, man. Okay, he likes to keep it real. So,
and I respect that.
Absolutely. Yeah, somebody's gotta rep.
Of course. And you know what? We gotta keep the fire and our passion alive. So 100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So Clef, let me ask you this, man. Tell me about your trip. Who'd you meet up? What you do? I'm not gonna ask you what you ate because that's a little weird, but let me know about that experience, man. How many days were you there? Like, you know, was it like, do you want to go back next year? Like,
oh, for sure.
Tell us about it, man. Tell us about that experience.
So, okay. I mean, first of all, I flew on the 4th. I arrived there technically late on the 4th as well. And I left on the 9th, but arrived in Canada, in Montreal, where I live, on the 10th. I didn't eat a whole lot. Honestly, I was actually shocked at how little I managed to survive without eating.
I can't go over there then. I gotta eat something, man. I'm hungry like every 2 or 3 hours, man.
It's like there's so much to do, and you just keep running and walking. And you know, it's probably a good thing I didn't eat that much. There were times that I was like so famished, but at the end of the day, if I would have been like stuffed, I couldn't have gone through the day for sure. It was so much walking. Oh my lord, so much of it.
You're a Canada guy, Clef, so I know that you're a Bret Hart fan, but I'm not gonna derail the show. I know you like Bret man. Okay.
Oh man, of course.
And I know that you secretly like Chris Benoit, but you're not allowed to say that because he did a horrible thing. Chris Benoit, remember?
Oh yes, okay.
Yeah, he just but he did something horrible, so we can't give him any credit.
Yeah, I seem to remember something around that. #MeToo. Then.
No. I think that he actually. We'll talk about it offline. It's something not too pleasant to talk about.
Oof, okay. I'm going back for sure. I mean, it was too great of an experience. There was too much to see to just pass on. For me, it's one of those things that I just will probably never miss it again until I'm way too old to like consider going there. But I will prepare myself better. Ultimately, I kind of took the approach of packing light, and that was great. That wouldn't change. But you know, it's such a learning experience. The way that you want to approach certain things, the way that so take for example, I'm not going to name the company, but there's a company that I went to their booth that I do work with them, and they were like, oh, don't film this, don't film that. Well, why do you go to CES, pay a massive amount of money to have a booth, and you don't have people filming your stuff? Like, to me, that makes no sense. So next time, I'm not going to ask. I will film. Okay. And if they forget to tell me, oops, oh well. You know, so it's little things like that.
And here you have the Nintendo Switch 2, and here is the.
Oh yeah, that's another thing. I'll bring a Sly the Cooper cosplay outfit, and I'm gonna rob everything I see. That's another thing I'm gonna do next year.
Don't advertise that, man.
oh, my bad. Let's cut the bud. Sure. But yeah, it's who do I I saw so many YouTubers that I watch. I saw
you posted something with was it Fox? I think you
no,
met.
the Fox
No.
wasn't there. Unfortunately, I wish he
Oh
was.
man.
I've been such a fan of his, and I love his brain, and I love the guy, and I'm so excited for the day that I get to meet him face to face and shake his hand. But unfortunately, he didn't go this year. I
mean, he's no John Wolf, but I get you.
There you go.
I just
there you go. So next year, I'm gonna ask you first, and if you go, well, I'm not gonna ask the Fox. I'll be good because I'll have John Wolf to shake his hand.
Listen, the only thing I have more knowledge in that man in tech is probably in terms of wrestling games. That's about it. He'll probably school me on everything else.
I kind of wonder. He knows everything.
Oh,
Kerry is so. I can't. Yeah. Anyways, but
Kerry's
you know what? Maybe
dude.
you're right. Maybe you're right.
He's a good dude.
I saw Linus from Linus Tech Tips. I saw. Yeah, that was really cool. Very happened very fast. No time, no second wasted. But I get to take a quick picture with them. I saw a lot of YouTubers that are not necessarily in the tech space. A YouTuber that I watch a lot for camera stuff, Terry Warfield. I saw him. Harry Eller saw him. Hola. I saw the guys from Hardware Unbox, the one that always does the monitors. Kefren,
oh yeah,
he's a YouTuber also. In the chat right now, he's a friend of mine, and he was with me.
Kefren.
Hey,
welcome. Thanks for
another
joining
French Canadian. Salut, comment ça va?
Oh, there you go.
So and I saw, of course, Russ from Retro Game Core, the Retro Handheld crew. I don't know if you watch Retro Handhelds. Love these guys. Retro Tech Dad, good amazing dudes. ETA Prime that I mentioned earlier. OKS Gamer, he's about my size. He also does a lot of handhelds.
So you actually, dude, you actually are in rare air. You actually got to see past the forearms of ETA Prime. You actually got to see his shoulders, his head.
I have. I shook his hand. I even gave him a hug. Like he's such a cool dude. It's
nice.
He's the best. Honestly, he's so funny. Yeah, like he's really pleasant to be around. I saw a lot of OG YouTubers also that I've been watching for years. Austin Evans, I don't know if you're familiar.
Yes, I
saw him. Funny guy. I actually didn't even know he's still posting shorts on YouTube, but he doesn't do a lot of long form. But Dino Cornell, this guy is so funny. Anyways, I'm not
familiar with him, but that's awesome.
Saw a lot. A lot of creators. I didn't get to say hi to everyone. I did get to see Your Average Consumer, super chill guy. Anyways, saw a lot of them, so that was cool too. And of course, I saw a lot of Booth. It just never stops. The thing with CES is you have 1, 2, 3, 4, if I recall, 5 huge buildings to visit. I didn't do all 5 because some of them are like B2B cars and things that are just out of my wheelhouse, right? But as far as like anything gaming or something that could be close to gaming, I visited. It wasn't enough of a day. And I was literally maybe not literally running, but you just never stop. You just don't. It's awesome. It's very hectic. You get solicited from all over the place. Like they don't call you out in the alleys kind of thing, but there's just always something to look at. You know what I mean?
I can imagine. Everybody wants to show off their stuff,
Of course. And there's so many cool things to see. For the most part, I mean, it is the biggest tech event in the world, and I understand why. And look, as a Canadian, I gotta give props to the American. You know how to do it grand, and that was grand.
Okay, Clef, but hold on. Rumor has it that you skipped a couple of appointments because of the booth babes. You were taking pictures of all the booth babes that were there.
Yeah, that's for the show after the show.
Now, rumor has it. Okay, I'm just playing around, man. So
of course.
Clef.
No, but funny enough.
Go ahead.
I don't know if I was supposed to see a whole lot like outside, but no, it was just the card stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got you. But yeah, let's not get into that whole thing again.
Okay.
but I will tell you this, Clef. First of all, man, I want to say thank you so much for coming on tonight, telling us about your CES 2025 experience, talking to me, and being the punching bag for tonight. It's usually the roles are usually reversed. I usually have to take a couple of beatings here.
You know what, John?
But
I got NVIDIA armor. It doesn't hurt.
Oh, damn! Blood, are you hearing this, man? No, you gotta come out to me. You gotta come out to the Discord this week, man. We need to hear a back and forth here.
Yep, taking body shots all day. I don't care.
but Clef, man, one more time, I wanna take the opportunity to promote your channel. If anybody's listening that hasn't subscribed yet, subscribe to this man. It's GameTechTalk, and more importantly, what's on your list of upcoming videos, Clef? You got it. Oh God, Flood is still going at it, man.
My channel, GameTechTalk, I talk about tech related to gaming. That's what I'm passionate about. That's where I get my drive, and this is what I want to talk about. And there's a heavy focus on controllers and handhelds. And I'm trying to expand throughout the year. I don't know what I want to tackle more, be it monitors, be it mouse, keyboards, I don't know, but it's going to have something to do with tech. All the messages I get about, please review this. Is it about tech? No. Well, gaming tech, that is. I don't want to hear it. So yes, this is what I do, and this is what I'm passionate about. And of course, probably the only thing I like more than gaming tech is people. So if ever you want to have a chat, you want to talk about the things that you like, except the I'm always down for it. I'm just joking, of course.
Man. Oh,
just gotta throw a couple of blows myself. Hey,
that's awesome, man. And as for myself, you guys, I'll be back next week with not next week, but the week after with Mr. K. Asante. He'll be back. I believe that K. Asante is off for the whole week, so I don't think that they have Gamers Playground, guys. But brought you this show as we always do. Clef, thank you, man. Thanks for passing by, hanging out with us, chatting about CES again. And until next time, guys, we're out. In a second. Right. I'm sorry, man. Hey. This podcast is brought to you by AMD.